Javier Guerra to Manchester United, guys. Without wasting any time, let's get straight into it. We are deep. We are in the middle of the transfer window, and these videos will be coming out a lot more often with rumors and speculations on who's going to be coming to United. With a club of Manchester United size, really and truly, these rumors run around season long, but they are the hottest. They reach a peak, especially in July and especially towards the end of August. But yeah, let's get into it. Javier Guerra, who is he, and is he, or can he be a good fit at Manchester United? And, you know, rumors of Javier Guerra to Manchester United kind of trace back to last year. There were rumors that the Manchester United scouts were looking at him, or were looking for him, were asking about him, and they had their eyes on him. And if this is true, I want to say job well done to our scouts, because Javi just had a very good season for Valencia. You know, a young player who's come in and has been quite impressive in his first season. You know, he's not. I don't think he is a Pedri type talent. I don't even think that he's a Kobe Mainoo type talent. But at the same time, these are two very good midfielders. And I'm not saying this to put him down or anything. I'm just saying this to be realistic. He has the potential to become a very good midfielder, but right now I don't think he is in that elite level of midfielders just yet. From watching him, from watching videos about him, from looking at his stats, from seeing stuff online, I don't think he's quite there, but he's still a good enough midfielder. But yeah, point being, the rumors started last season, and if this is true, this is quite good work from Manchester United's part to then see how a player develops and to stay in the loop. It's just once again highlights the good scouting that Manchester United are trying to build. You know, I said how I was impressed with the Diego Leon signing, even the Rasmus Højlund signing. I was happy about it. That's why I was still against the signing of Calvert-Lewin. You know, let's keep building, and if we're going to build, let's build young players or players that are already in their prime. Okay, and Xavier kind of fits that mold, a young player that we can develop. Now he did have a good season. You know, don't let what I just said put you down. He did have a good season. Just to read you some stats, in this season, in 38 games played, he scored 6 goals and he had 3 assists. I'm going to read out some of his other attacking stats in a second, but the 6 goals and 3 assists as a midfielder, that's very good productivity for a young player, especially. You know, for any other midfielder, 9 goal contributions for box-to-box midfielder like Javi, those are good numbers. But especially for someone who just broke into the scene, those are very impressive numbers. And this is kind of the area where I believe Xavi is going to thrive on. He's going to be a box-to-box midfielder, but more offensive leaning than otherwise. And we're gonna get into that in a second. But again, similar to what I said on my Amad Diallo video and on my Kobe Mainoo video, these players are very young, so we can't say that they're not going to develop into something, because I believe that Javi, if he puts in the work, he can definitely become a very solid defensive player. He's got the stature, he's got the physical ability to do that. It's just about, you know, where his strengths lie, because when you look at his attacking stats, he's very strong when it comes to ball carrying and being press resistant. He has that Spanish DNA, but he likes to go forward as well. We're talking about 1.7 progressive carries per 90, which puts him in the 78th percentile. He has 1 successful take-on per 90, which puts him in the 83rd percentile. Offensively, he's very tidy. He keeps the ball close to him. He doesn't give the ball away. He's definitely someone that we could use in our team. And yeah, like offensively, that's where he really earns his money. And if we're talking about us improving as a team, if we're talking about the difficulties we've had this season offensively, getting in a box-to-box midfielder is definitely going to be a positive. However, defensively, this is where the liabilities lie with Javi, at least as of today. You know, he's averaging 1.7 tackles per 90, which, you know, for box-to-box midfielder is not good enough. And just to put that in comparison, this ranks him in the 31st percentile. He's averaging 0.7 interceptions per game and 0.5 blocks per game. Defensively, he is not quite there, and you can kind of see it when you watch him play. He gets caught out quite a lot. He gets caught out of position quite a lot, but again, These things I do need to talk about. I need to highlight them, but also you need to give the context that he's quite young. This was his first big season, and yeah, with proper development, especially in a team like United, who is trying to be a very tidy, very defensive team. When you've got Lisandro Martinez, Ugarte, Lenny Euro behind you, when you've got Casemiro or Ugarte next to you, it will, how do you say, it will help to brush off some of those defensive liability or those defensive weaknesses. That'll definitely help. But I do have to say, defensively, I am not impressed, and that could definitely use work. It's no good me just coming here and praising a player for the whole world to hear without me, giving those caveats. Now, finally, final verdict: is he a fit for United and Amorim? Now, in this 3-4-3 system or 3-5-2 system that Amorim wants to play, he will need soldiers in that midfield. He will need midfielders that will be able to fight. And we've seen it over the last 3 seasons at Manchester United. Injuries have really derailed our midfield. Whether it's Donny van de Beek, whether it's Kobbie Mainoo, whether it's Mason Mount, or whether it's Pogba and his shenanigans, injuries to our midfielders has really, really plagued us. So in terms of creating depth, I feel like Javi would be a good signing. But I don't know if Javi will be happy coming to United to be a bench player. Because from what I've seen so far, again, this can change in the future, but from what I have seen so far, I don't think he's quite starter material. Especially not when you have a player like Kobbie Mainoo in your team. When you've got Ugarte, when you've got Casemiro. At best he can be a frequent rotational player, but at the minute that's where I really see his ceiling being, because no one's going to take Bruno Fernandes' role. I believe Kobbie Mainoo is better than him, and as I've said before, if he was to take anyone's role, it would probably be Kobbie Mainoo's role. But again, if it's about depth, definitely sign him. If it's about him starting, I don't think so, because defensively, he's not going to be the cover that we need. He's going to be that box-to-box midfielder, which, again, is very much welcome, but not really. Again, if we're going to pay around 30 million for him, I think that would be a good alternative. Anything above 30 million, I don't think it is worth it. I'd rather develop from within. We've got midfielders in the academy that we can develop. I'd rather that than spend money just for a player to sit on the bench, for a young player to sit on the bench, which would also hinder his development. So yeah, that's kind of my verdict on Javi. Breakout season, good player. He definitely has the talent. He's very offensive leaning, not quite so good defensively. If we're going to sign him, I hope it is for him to be a rotational player. But at the same time, if we're going to spend too much money on him, we might as well just develop from within. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching this video until the end. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. Do all these things to please help me grow this channel. And as per usual, I'll see you guys soon.